Alright, last video, guys. We were dropping the YFZ off to get the graphics kit done, and it's done. Alright guys, so it is actually super impossible for me to show you that this is not gray. This is like a dark gray olive green. It's really hard to tell, but we did it for the theme of the Ric Flair having some green and bourbon in it. You know, we got this green here and the bourbon there. Yeah, so it's green. In person, that is green. I'll try to do some color grading to make it look green, but it looks super gray on camera. Still awesome, right? It's like a smoke look on camera, but in person, it's green, guys. It's very plainly green. It's not overpowering, obviously, but it's super cool. Super cool. Love the way this turned out. Some of the viewers may not know, but the YouTubers know. There are 2 guys left out of the graphics kit. That was not on purpose. That was my bad. We're gonna get fixed. So, the guys left out, pause, drop in the comment if you know who it was. Now I'm gonna tell you, unpause. Okay, so, $700 Raptor Life needs to be right here. Something was wrong with his logo as far as quality goes. I'm gonna get it fixed. And then we'll just print out this piece and get him put right there. And then Jesse McCain, you were gonna be right over here. And that was my bad. They printed the kit before we got the little Sahara and you sent me your logo. So they're gonna print this little section out and we'll pop you right there. Love you guys. I'm sorry you didn't make it on the kit the first go around. Like I said, that was my mistake. Just didn't get things ironed out, I guess. It was harder than I thought to get. I mean, we got, I don't know, probably 20 creators on here. So these are all YouTube channels that I ride with, I watch, and you guys should go watch. Most of them you all know, but it's kind of hard to coordinate getting everybody's logos edited properly so that we could use them on this kit, but super worth it. My original plan was to put subscriber names on here. You guys could buy a t-shirt or something and get your name on there. And I might do that in the future. Maybe not on this one, maybe on the next one or whatever. But I'm glad I did this first because it was kind of hard. So, yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to put like 100 names on there. It'll fit, obviously, but wow, would it be hard to get coordinated, I think. But we're in the shop because we have a lot to do. A lot to do. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. It is Thanksgiving right now, this morning. I got here a little before 6:30 because I got some stuff to do. We are riding tomorrow, the Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, at Interlake State Park with ATV World. Eric's not going to make it, but his dad's going to be there to lead us around the park. So, we need to change the oil. I cleaned my filter. I have a new one on the way because it's damaged from the inside. Doesn't look like any damage. The outside's a little messed up, but cleaned it regardless. I've got a new one on the way. I think it's going to show up tomorrow, but I'll already be gone, so hopefully that gets us through one ride. Funnel and everything, oil filter, oil change, put the filter back on. Pop rivets. So I have to repair a wheel, my RWI wheels. The bolts, RWI discovered that from GPS, they had the bolts too long. So these would leak a lot because you couldn't get a good seal. You couldn't get it tight enough because the bolts are bottoming out in here. So they sent shorter bolts. And since I broke one off in here, they sent me some, I bought them actually from PeteHager.com, some new bolt patterns. So I believe these are the bolt patterns, and this hole will be riveted on. So I'll have to take the ring off, drill the ring, the bolt ring out, replace it with this one. You could also drill this bolt out and try to re-tap it, but there's a good chance you're going to mess that up if you're not a pro. So I figured I would do this just so everybody could see this is a pretty easy fix here. So we'll do that. And then after we do that, I've got some new tires that I want on the YFZ. We talked about it in the last video. These are ITP Whole Shot HDs and Maxxis Razor 2s, 22-inch tires and 20 in the rear. They're going to be nasty on our RWI wheels. And then also, we got a Checo skid plate. I tried to do in the last video, but my hardware, I drill and tap holes at work fairly often, but it's always standard. It's never metric. And I was trying to figure out and Google search and what drill bit size do I need to drill this out to tap the hole for this upgraded bolt size in my swing arm, because Checo gives you the option of OEM size bolts for the swing arm plate or oversized bolts for the swing arm. So what that means is you drill the holes out, tap it for the oversized bolts. Sorry. Drill and tap it for the oversized bolts, because this thing is like 10 pounds. It's legit. So yeah, I was like, of course I want bigger bolts back there. But yeah, I messed it up. So luckily we are here at the fab shop for our business, and we have this lovely bolt bin full of grade 8 bolts, nuts, washers, all that good stuff. So I've got plenty to choose from. We will get the right size. I believe 5/16 is what we're going to put in it, but we'll see. So enough chit chat. Let's get started doing something. Let's do a cold start. Alrighty, oil is changed. I backed it up and let it run because when I had it running in the garage, it got all fumey in here. Letting the heat out, of course, that sucks. But anyways, let it run, let it get warmed up. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll check the fluid level. Nice and dirty. But that was a serious ride, and there was some dirty oil in there. But it's not a bad, it looks super black, but it's actually still pretty good, like bourbon color. Okay, so gonna address the wheel. This is the one that I broke the bolt off into. So you could get yourself what they call a transfer punch for that size. Basically what it does is it's gonna help you punch a center hole in that bolt. And a transfer punch basically fits in the outside hole nice and snug, and it'll make sure it punches center, and then you can drill that out. If not, this wheel is softer than that bolt, and you could walk and really mess up your wheel. So the easier route is a nut plate. So that's a rivet. That's a rivet. This is the nut plate. There's a nut plate here, nut plate there. So basically, it goes underneath. This one right here has the broken stud. We'll drill this out, put this one back under there, pop rivet it on, be good to go. So, we'll try that. Alright, so one of the ones that I had to drill is super close to my valve stem. So be careful on your follow through. Don't hit your valve stem or it will leak. We got our one wheel fixed that I showed you guys that was messed up. It was actually pretty easy. I did not expect it to go that easily. But that's good. Then I cleaned it up real nice. Put our new Maxxis Razor 2 front tire, 22 inch by 7, 10 inch wheel, so 22 by 7 dash 10. Whoa! Knocked the impact off the workbench and caught it. Alright, all greased up. I'm going to put it back on my bucket. I put a little bucket under the wheel. And then that way, if it's not engaging and it doesn't start to take air pressure, I push down on the sidewall so it builds a little bit of pressure. And once it builds a little bit of pressure, then it won't leak and it'll continue to build pressure until it pops on the bead. I apologize if I sound like I'm just out of breath all the time. My nose is collapsed on one side, and then this time of year is pretty much the time of year that, you know, I pretty much can't breathe out of it, so. Hear that? It's not trying. I push down on it. Starts to take. Nailed it. 7 PSI. Perfect. Fronts are done. Looking gnarly. Just a little bit more gnarly than these. Alright, I'm going to do the backs. And then we'll get them on. Then all we got left to do is the skid plate. Which I've been saving it for last because it might suck. Alright, wheels and tires are mounted. And on the quad, we are now tapping our swing arm for our new skid plate. What we ended up going with is a, whoops, hard to see. It's a 3/8 by 16 coarse thread. So we're putting a standard bolt. I know what you guys are thinking. Putting a standard bolt on a quad full metric. I'm not going to touch those very often. And I will remember that I have a grade 8 yellow bolt that is 9/16, not a metric. We're good. If not, hey, it's a 14, okay? It'll fit, it'll work, it's fine. I'm not gonna do that anywhere else on this machine, but I have standard hardware here. We're good, okay? It's gonna work, don't worry about it. Alrighty, got everything done that I want to do before this trip. I had one more thing that I wanted to try to do, but we'll do a separate video on that. Maybe a kind of a teaching thing, learn together thing. I'm not going to claim to teach you anything. We can learn together. So maybe next week, but we're going riding tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving. I have 10 minutes before I need to leave. So perfect timing. Going to get this loaded up, and then we are going riding at Interlake tomorrow with ATV World. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, we're going to do videos like this every Friday and ride videos every Monday. So as long as I can do it, I'm going to try to keep up. Tune in for next week, folks. Speaking of tuning in for next week, 400. That's what we're doing next week. We're going to get started on the 400. It is getting restored. I took a poll on Instagram and you guys said, don't change the colors. Keep it the same colors, but get new plastics. So she's going to get tore down. Motor's good, but she's going to get tore down. We've got new A-arms, new shocks, new plastics, and carrier bearing, maybe a new axle. Yeah, we're going to do all the goodies. So tune in next week for the 400 and maybe a little bit of work on the YFZ.